It's almost like when people, I could correlate, like even when we talk analysis paralysis, right? And we always laugh when we talk about like when it comes to being a parent. There's no book to being a parent. Like, and you know what I mean, there is. You can go read, all these books on this, and this. But at the end of the day, like everyone's life is different.
Oh
So
yeah.
you're reading a book on
Every
someone
kid is
who, you know what I
different.
mean? Every kid is different. Every kid's needs are different. And I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, shit, down to our third child. Like, bro, you never got that shit figured out. You know what I mean? But you figure it out as you go. You use the resources around you to figure out how to be a better parent. You use the lessons that you feel like, I fucked up with the first one. So then the second one, you know what I mean, you're a little bit better with it, and then you hope to have it a little bit more figured out, with my third one. And so, but like that's just it's a testament to like you're never gonna have it figured out. You just take those lessons as you go, and you just get better and better as you go, and you refine those moments. So when people say like, hey, they about to have their first child, well, what should I expect? And the first thing I tell people, I'm like, as men, like, bro, we're never ready to have kids in the sense of, when women, they growing up, they dream of like their wedding and being a mother. And, that's just, I feel like sometimes their natural instinct sometimes. And as a guy, like it's always, in a sense, sometimes it's a fear. You know what I mean? I was nervous having my third child, and I done already had kids. So it's like, well, what you nervous for? You'll never be ready to have kids. So don't just be like, oh, when I'm ready, when I got my job, you never going to be ready for it. You know what I mean? But it's the greatest thing that could ever happen, and and the child honestly gonna teach you how to be a parent.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the reason we're waiting to have more kids is just like lifestyle. Honestly, like lifestyle, being able to like be an actual parent. Like the butt's in the other room right now.
Yeah,
like, all right, bro, you're coming with me today.
He doing good though.
Yeah, he doing.
He ain't walked in on the podcast yet.
Nah, he out there fucking.
I've
up
been
them
waiting
toys.
for. I've been waiting for him to bust in here.
Right, he out there fucking up them toys. I mean, it's when it comes to kids, bro. I just feel like it's you'll number one never be ready to be a parent. What I say you'll be ready to be like financially stable to support a child. Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I do feel like people scare you a little bit when it comes to having kids. Oh, they're so expensive. Oh man, don't I'm like, bro, I haven't ran into that issue yet.
No, with in that aspect, no. But like
I was
being
teaching
able,
with 2 kids.
right? Being able to provide like a stable environment for your kids.
Yeah.
Like there are
For
things
sure.
that go like some of y'all shouldn't have any fucking
Now,
kids.
I'm about to say, now, if you're not stable, you shouldn't be having no fucking kids.
Yeah.
You
Some of
can't
y'all-
bring no kid in no unstable environment. Yeah.
Some of y'all shouldn't be having kids. Like stable income, stable environment. Like really, I mean, there's 7 billion people in the world, and only 330 people live in America, and what is it? A couple 100 million people live in Europe. The rest of the world's kind of fucking wild. All them other people make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Odds is in your favor, man.
odds are in your favor, bro. Like all those other people in third world countries, wild ass countries, people make it in Russia, people make it, bro, China. Like all this shit happens. Like I'm sure your kids will be fine.
Yeah. I was watching another podcast. They have Floyd Mayweather on there. And it was dope because, first and foremost, I don't really see Floyd on like a bunch
used to
of
hate
podcasts.
Floyd.
Right, and I watched this. I never hated him because I kind of understood a little bit. You know what I mean? You understand marketing. You understand like, brands and shit like that. And so then this was probably the most vulnerable, like essentially that I've seen him on a podcast. And it was funny because they was talking about, how it was dope. Like now on the airplane, like when you go fly, commercial or whatever, you can, I guess your boarding passes on your phone and stuff, right? And he was sitting there lost. He was confused, and they was like, Floyd, when the last time you flew commercial? And he was kind of like, he was like stuck, you know what I mean? And but the point to it was, he was saying that a lot of people don't like him in a sense because they think that he's flashy. And he's like, and I'm not flashy. He was like, because like I really live this way. But when I post about how what I do, like it's so outlandish to some people that I
They
seem
think it's
flashy. And he's like, and it's not, to me, it's not. You know what I mean? And he literally gets on the phone, bro. Because it was like, well, how do you coordinate like, your trips? Like, what does that look like for you? And like someone hands him a phone, bro, and he's like on the phone with the pilot to his jet. And he's just like, remember I told you, you're going to go over here, you're going to pick so-and-so up. They're like, oh, it's going to be about an hour. We'll go grab them. He was like, then y'all come scoop, da-da-da. Then I got y'all tickets to come do this. And they just like, and he's like, I've been flying private jet like forever. So you know what I mean? So he was kind of like laughing and he was like kind of lost when they was talking about the flying commercial because he just hasn't done that in years. You know what I mean? And he was just like, he brought up Warren Buffett. And he's like, I got like probably like 2 jets. You know what I mean? He was like, and Warren Buffett had like 500 and some odd jets.
Yeah, it was a jet company.
So he's like, to me, like that's wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I'm around. You know what I mean? And he was just talking about like that type of stuff and just like what makes him do the things that he does and really just going over just Forbes, they have no idea how much I'm really worth. They may say 1.2 billion, but they don't know what I got in Dubai, Japan, worldwide. I'm sitting there thinking like, fuck.
I mean, bro, he's an amazing marketer.
Yeah.
And so I used to hate Floyd like this. So this is college Stratton Brown who thinks the world should be ideal.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, well, he flashes and spends all this money when he could be donating all this money to help people in inner cities.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other, like, why is it his job to spend his money on that?
And that's what he said.
Number one, when we pay all this money in taxes.
Yeah.
Like, that should be doing something when it does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it's his life.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, it's his fucking life. Right?
Yeah.
So we're like now, like where I'm at. Yeah, and I'm sure he donates tons of money to charities, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to avoid taxes somehow.
He said that he's hated on in the sense of like his 2 biggest critics, he was like, is like my people, black people. He was like, and white folks. And he was like, and the crazy thing is I do a lot of the stuff that I do was, for my people. You know what I mean? But he's like, but I can't complain because, he was like, they asked him like, so when are you going to settle down in a way? Like, when you going to just retire? He's like, I am retired.
Right?
And
like, bro,
he's like, how come no one asked Warren Buffett, when he going to stop? He's like, why is it like as athletes, when we retire and we do something else, they ask us like, when are you going to settle down? He's like, no one asked Warren Buffett when he going to settle down. But since I'm done with sports, like I'm supposed to settle down. And I was like, damn, that's deep as hell. Because it's true. I mean, my man's just made so much money. He's like, I ain't got to put my name on everything. He was like, because some people, he's like, it may fuck something up because I put my name on it just because people just don't like me. He was like, but I'm involved in so much that, and as he's going, bro, in my mind, I'm thinking like, this dude is like, he's up there with like the Warren Buffetts and shit like that. Like,
I mean, he's up there with Warren Buffett.
Not a lot of people are. But I mean, bro, when he's sitting there talking about, he going out there for a fight or something like that, and he's chilling in the locker room, and he's fucking sitting there chopping it up with Warren Buffett. Like, let's be real, Warren Buffett don't just be chilling with
right. He
nobody.
Don't talk to anybody.
You know what I'm saying? But like, it seemed like they like be chatting it up all the time. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like he just in a room with Warren Buffett, but he ain't nowhere near the capacity of that.
I mean, once you hit $1 billion, bro, you're in a completely
that we know about.
Well, once you hit $1 billion, you're in a different group.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a completely different arena. New doors open into where, like, really, okay, what is there? Let's say there's like 1,000. Let's say there's 3,000 of them in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you're in a very, very select club of even though Floyd can't read, bro, he's a smart dude.
Yeah, he has good people around him.
Right.
And he dropped the line. He was like, he mentioned. Matter of fact, I took a little screenshot because someone had posted it, and I was like, "Dog, that's dope." Because they asked him about like, how does he even like know about like a lot of the things that he does and stuff like that. And he said like a little quote about it, and I was like, bro, that's fucking awesome. And if I could find it, that's what's gonna be crazy. He said, you sit, you learn. He said, you sit, you listen, you learn. There's only 3 ways you can learn: hearing, seeing, and doing. And it was like, he was like, and I just happen to be good at all 3 of them. You know what I mean? So the rooms that he sits in, you listen, you watch, you learn. Someone show you, do it. And he was all about generational wealth and cutting his kids off. He's like, I've cut my kids off in a sense of just because I do this for a longer generation than just me. And he was like, and his fear really is that when he's
kids,
gone,
bro.
is his grandkids, his great-great-grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, so I had to tell them, like, I'm cutting them off with just handouts that they need to go start. And he'll tell them, like, bro, like, him being so in the loop with a lot of things, like, he's like, and I'll front whatever business they want to venture that they want to get into. But I need them to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So they can be that for the next generation.